morning. I am driving to the beach right now, and there are my people. We are going to the ocean. Don't want to swear, but anyway, I was just wanted to make this very quick video about people who think Africa is backwards. Okay, so if you don't know, Africa is rising. Okay, it is the next frontier in the economic rise of the world. Everybody is scrambling to get to Africa. China has made a lot of inroads, which has threatened the West in terms of, you know, like the hold that the West have on Africa. And there's another revolution going on where Africans are questioning, why are we paying colonial taxes to the Western countries, people who should be paying us for having colonized us and stole our resources. So but anyway, yeah, so Africa is rising right now. The West is acting like, you know, like the bad boyfriend who mistreated you, and you beg them, you know, like because they made you feel you dependent on them, even though they depended on you. They abused you, and they made you feel like small, that you were worthless, that you were nothing, when you were the pillar of their own existence. Now that China, the new boyfriend, has come in and it's kind of doing things differently. I'm not saying it's doing things better per se, but maybe things differently. And so now the West is looking at Africa like, okay, maybe she is a pretty girl, and maybe I should, you know, like go back to her on my knees and begging for her forgiveness. But you know, Stella has her groove back right now. That is Africa. Stella is Africa. She got her groove back, and she's like, you know, if you want me, you gotta impress me. And I like that. And so, but anyway, yeah, so Africa is rising. Akon just just signed a contract with this company that's gonna help him build a city, Akon City, I guess, in Africa. $6 billion, where they're gonna build something new. There's going to be a new currency that this, I guess, I don't know whether it's just the city or Africa is going to run on. That might not be feasible, but for now, I guess that's his goal. But I wanted to talk specifically with those people who think Africa is still backward. You know, I liken you, I'm going to use this analogy. You know, in the good old days when we used to buy a car with a GPS, we had to get a city and we pop it in. That's all our GPS is going to know. If there are new roads, or roads are closed, or, you know, the street names have changed, our GPS will still have the old data, and it could literally have you drive off the cliff because it doesn't know that the road is closed or the road has been cut off. And so those people are like that. They still think of Africa the way Africa used to be defined, which is, you know, like this backward place where people have we have mud houses, we don't have streets, we don't have running water, electricity, and bathroom. By the way, we've had all these things in South Africa for a very long time, but of course during apartheid, pretty much everything that was good was reserved for white people. And with end of apartheid, that has changed. But here's another thing that's going on. During apartheid, we used to, I'm talking now specifically about South Africa because that's a country really I know. We used to move to the cities in search of jobs, whether in the gold mines or, you know, like in cities like Cape Town, and working there as domestic workers, you know, or, you know, like, okay, there were a lot of black people who were successful too, like teachers and lawyers and stuff like that. But by and large, most of us did menial work, and we didn't earn enough where we could own our nice homes. And so now we're going back to So a lot of people, what people would do is they would live in shacks in Cape Town, like very deplorable conditions. As you know, I was born and raised in a shack myself, because my mother was a domestic worker, so to speak. Even though she worked at a bank, she was still more of a, like she was a tea lady and a cleaning lady, basically. Even though she was, highly intelligent, highly educated, but because she was black, she wasn't allowed to have those opportunities. And so, but anyway, so people would take the little money that they earned and save, and they would go to the countryside and build, like houses made out of bricks and blocks instead of mud. And they would build these houses in the countryside, but they would be very modest houses, and they would build them over time, and then when they retired, they would go there. So what's going on now in Africa is basically people that used to do that, instead of, because they earn a lot more now and they're free to basically, like earn money. So they're taking that money and building mansions in the rural areas, in the countryside, and they're building them out of pocket. They're not taking mortgages to do that because, first of all, banks are very reluctant to give people still. Yeah, because there's not the same exact rules. You still live under, local chiefs and stuff, and they have rules over, the villages, but they're allowing people to build. So people are building cash. So that's what I'm doing too. I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm building a house in South Africa. It's gonna cost me far less than, let's say, if I were to go to Cape Town and buy land and then have to build there. Everything would be probably, I would say 3 times more than what I'm doing in the village. And so I am, or even 4 times more, I don't know. But I'm building a house there because I am very encouraged by what people are doing in the countryside. People are starting to look at the countryside with a new eye. People are building mansions for less than 100K. And they are like very proud of their own heritage, where they come from, and that's something that's very commendable. The only thing I want us to do better in the villages is to plan for growth, because people are gonna see, people are building in the villages and everyone is gonna want to come. In fact, when people heard that I was building in the village, they all wanted to grab their own land so that they can in the future build. That's commendable, and I don't have any problem with people doing that. But at the same time, we do want to plan for that growth and make sure that like our villages look beautiful. I'm really dreaming of Kentucky, or Tennessee or North Carolina ranches in the village in South Africa. So I'm encouraging everyone to join in the revolution. So, but to get back to the topic, Africa is not backward. We've always had a lot of things that are modern. In fact, when I went to South Africa, I can't remember what year. You know how in America now you get the technology where you go to a parking lot, they will say the parking lot is full, and you get a guidance as to, like if there's a space available. That in South Africa was already implemented. When I moved to America, people in South Africa had more cell phones than people in America, because we did not have landlines. So we kind of skipped that technology straight to cell phones. So when I came here in 1998, South Africa, I already had a cell phone, and a lot of South Africans had more cell phones than Americans. Okay? So that's one thing. And again, this is not to compare, because America is a first world country, and there was no incentive for Americans to jump to cell phones because they had the landlines. So, but the point I'm trying to make is that people still operate with the old idea that Africa is this backward place, that like you can really do well there. In fact, I know a lot of African Americans who live in South Africa, and they're living very well. I mean, they live in mansions, okay, living very beautifully. And so I kind of want to take part in that as well and build something there, because obviously I have a building advantage because I'm from there, but it's something to consider especially if you're African American and you think that, you know, like maybe your future generations might end up working there, because Africa is rising. That's gonna be the next frontier. I don't know how that will all go. If our people are smart enough and our leadership is smart enough to really watch out for the trappings, to watch out for the sabotage, to watch out for the health of our people, the education systems, build systems that, you know, like will make Africa strong. Because part of why it's easy to take advantage of Africa is we rely too much on Western countries that have no interest in serving Africans other than to serve themselves in a way that looks like they're serving Africa. Okay, it's like that bad friend, you know, like that acts like they're truly your friend, but they're not. They're just, you know, like keeping you in their back pocket so that, you know, they can use you. So what I'm trying to get to is we have to really pay attention to that and make sure that we avoid those trapping, relying on yourself, having your own medical systems and everything that you need in a continent that has over 1 billion people. You can definitely do that. So, but anyway, I just wanted to make this. Look at Kit. She said I'm gonna sleep when I get in the car, and that's exactly what she's doing. And Mr. over there is sitting, and Mr. over here is driving. But anyway, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Africa Rising hashtag, by the way. Don't forget the hashtag. Bye.